All right. Thank you very much for coming back to part two. Today, we're going to discuss the part two section of the web, and I have information for you. So let's get started. All right. So, part two starts with the use of e commerce and business transaction. B2B commerce, transferring goods, services, or information between businesses. Pricing can vary based upon the level of service provided, negotiated terms, and other factors. Quite often, business to business, they'll say if you buy X amount of this product, we'll sell it to you at this discounted price. A team of people often review and make purchase decisions. So they're going to shop a little bit, but it's between businesses. So the pricing is going to be slightly different. Business to business to personal transactions. This is where the user is actually buying from a business, but they're using the web to do it. You'll quite see this quite often when it comes to during the holiday times, during Christmas and all. Electronic storefronts basically is what they are. So it tracks your selected items using cookies, and a file is created by a website that stores information on your computer, such as your website preferences. Make secure e-commerce payments. This is done with 3D Secure. It uses encryption and digital certificates to actually pass information back and forth. So even if it was tapped into, unless they have the encryption key, they can't open it. Transfer layer security, or TLS, is the technology used to encrypt data that helps protect consumers and businesses from fraud and identity theft when conducting commerce on the internet. Online payment services is also provided when you're dealing with this. Now, how do we find e-commerce deals? You find online deals through comparison shopping. Basically, you just go from one website to another looking for the same item. There are some sites, though, which actually do that part for you and say, this is the one that we found is the cheapest. Using digital deals, or maybe they'll give you a credit where they'll say if you use this passcode when you're purchasing the item, we'll give you an additional discount. Gift certificates is also one that you can do where you're just passing this on to another person or buying it for yourself because maybe you bought $100 worth of stuff and it says, okay, if you spend $100, we'll give you $10 on your next purchase. Gift cards, normally given at Christmas time. These gift cards allow you to purchase anything that you want, but the gift card has a limited amount of money on it. Right. And then there's always coupons, which works pretty much the same as any coupon does, either grocery shopping or buying heavy duty machinery. All right, so information literacy. The Association of the College and Research Libraries has defined the following as information literacy competency standards: knowing how to determine the extent of information that you need, knowing where to find the answers, knowing how to tell if the sources are credible or reliable, knowing how to use information to accomplish a purpose, and knowing how to use information legally and ethically. So, information literacy allows one to navigate many sources of information, including the internet, online libraries, and popular media sites. You can select the right tool to finding the information that you need. Recognize that not all information is created equal. Evaluate whether the information is misleading, biased, or is out of date. Manage information to become a knowledgeable decision maker because it's the main thing that you want to get out of it is after you've done all your research and you looked at it, you need to be able to pick out what is actually uh, good for the point that you're trying to make in your paper or whatever it is that you're submitting or researching. General search engines. Okay. These would be your Google, Bing, Yahoo. Enter a search term or phrase such as mobile phone innovations. Okay, so you've entered that. It compiles a database of information about web pages. Okay, and that list of databases that are out there uses software programs called spiders and crawlers to build an index of terms and their locations. So now you have something that already has an index basically of all of those databases that are out there. When one enters a query, which would be the mobile phone innovations, the search engine refers to its index and lists pages based on how closely they answer the query. Ranking depends on how often and where search terms appear on the web page, how long the web page has been published, and the number of other web pages that link to it. All right, so there's a little link here down at the bottom, which you're welcome to watch, it's a YouTube connection, which will allow you to search it, and it'll show you an example of one that might be taking place. All right, so search tools and the strategies to follow behind this. Find online information based on the criteria you specify or selections you make. So search boxes on the web pages, all right? A search tool finds online information based on criteria you specify or selections you make. Search tools include search engines and search boxes on the web pages. All right, so web direct or subject directory, all right? This is what you're gonna find at the library on, at the school. So search engines, web directories take different approaches to searching for information. Instead of using an index created by digital spiders, a human editor creates the index for the web directory, selecting categories that make sense to the information the web directory provides. All right, so on the off of the My Way page, you'll have a library connection that you can go to. When you go to that library connection, you're basically doing the work of those spiders, okay? And you're going to select what makes sense to you as far as what you're searching for. So specialized search engines specify resources such as scholarly journals or the United States Congress for that matter. Examples include the Directory of Open Access Journals, or congress.gov, legislative search, and Google Books. Now, these you're going to find more legal type items that are listed within there. If you need to research the latest academic studies or look up the status of a bill using specialized search tools, it's more efficient than using a general search engine such as Google. All right, so special search engines that are out there let one search information source that general search engines do not always access. All right, so these are kind of specialized. So Wolfram Alpha answers factual questions directly without listing web pages that might contain the answer. All right. So Ask a Librarian connects you to librarians at the Library of Congress and other libraries, allow you to engage in an online chat or submit your question in an online form. So as you can see, there's still other search engines out there, search tools rather, that you can use that will allow you to get very specific about certain information that you're looking for. Use the search strategy. State what kind of information you are seeking as specifically as possible. Select an appropriate search tool. Phrase the search term as a question. Identify keywords or phrases that could answer the question. And perform search and refine the web search to a narrow or broaden the results if it's too narrow. Use the word STEM to help broaden the results. Okay, so Tash, you have to write a 3,000 word paper on the life and impact of female politicians. How do you determine how much of research to conduct and the extent of information needed to accomplish the task? Where and what would you use to complete the task? And then they have another link that says, watch this. I suggest you watch it, and it should give you some real help when it comes to answering a question like that. All right. So, refine your web search. Learning from the search engine results page, or SERP. You have subject filters, time filters, because you don't want something too old. If it's too old, then the information may have changed. Questions other users often ask about the same subject. It holds all of this information so that you can make a intelligent selection. Search terms related to the original term, knowledge graph pulled from the online sources. So as you can see, this search engine really does quite a bit. So search engine practices list the most relevant results or hits on the first page. Results labeled as ad or sponsor link are from advertisers. Each type of filter offers relative features. Now, unless you don't care whether the information is actually biased, I would stay away from the ads or the sponsored links. Okay. Google displays a people also search for list below a link as you visit it. So you can actually see what direction other folks were going in once they started to actually look up the information for that link that they have. All right. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and stop the video. This is the end of part 2. When we get to part 3, we're going to finish this up and we're going to start with refined web searches. Thank you and see you on part 2, on part 3 rather.